What's going on, everybody? And welcome back to this ridiculously titled show that I can't recall, but who cares? Because it's the ridiculously titled show in which we just talk about whatever we want and not necessarily do the serious stuff. Really quick, just some quick quote unquote housekeeping. The reason we're born will be back. We just haven't been able to sync because of this asshole here. Um, and I guess I will take some of the blame because now I am working towards something that I'll talk about later. But let's get to the asshole right here. Cardiacsumo, how are you doing?
Living life like an asshole, I guess.
Yeah, clearly that's your goal in life. Fucking hijacking our time to record to play a fucking video game. Gosh, what's wrong with you?
Many things.
I agree. And we'll leave it there. You won't even have to. You don't even have to go. So everybody agrees. Cardiacsumo has many things wrong with him, and he should be punished for these things.
Would be an accurate statement, yeah.
Your punishment: you will have to move back to Florida. But here's the twist: your home is at Mar-a-Lago, and
I
you'll be
mean,
visited by Trump twice a week to share fish fillets and cocaine.
I feel like if I'm on coke, I could probably get through it, so it's fine.
I'm not saying what quality coke it is, though. That's the thing. Might not be the good stuff.
Hell, if it kills me, even better.
Nah, it'll probably just make you bloat up like he is. And
Is that what he has, a coke body?
yeah, he has a coke body. He does coke and he eats fucking fish fillets. That's what people do when they're high. They eat like shit. They eat trash, garbage. So, boom. You are going to be, as Nancy Pelosi said, morbidly obese.
Is that what she said? Well,
You didn't watch that video clip I sent you?
when?
Shit, it had to be a couple of days now. Nancy Pelosi did, for those who don't know, Nancy Pelosi did an interview on national TV. I forget if it was CNN or MSNBC, but she did and it was a masterpiece. I need to find that video for you because it's classic Nancy Pelosi where she sounds so sincere and so innocent, like where they were asking her about the president, and she was like, "Yeah, you would think that someone like him would be kind of like more concerned about things like that, especially in his physical condition, because I believe it's what they call morbidly obese." And she says it so nonchalantly, and she like spills it, and like everybody's just like, "Yo, what?" I gotta find a clip. It's like, yo, she just dropped that shit, like, because it made it. She was saying it as in that like I'm such a concerned mother voice that she usually does when she's placating him. So it made
Even
it better.
just the tone you use, like this weird way of trying to be like, I don't know what I really said there. Like, I think they call it morbidly obese. Like, really? Bitch, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, that just sounds like the pettiest shit ever, and I love it.
Yeah, it was a masterpiece in Petty. You have to applaud her, and that's what started the whole. What was the hashtag that started the trend? It was something like morbidly obese started to trend, and was it Donald Rump or Donald something like that? Like that started to trend, like trend. Like they basically, like people were just going off with the jokes.
I
Because of
did
her.
see these comparisons between Trump and like that shirtless pic of Obama. I guess I don't know
Yeah,
from going to the port or
that's
some
where
shit.
that sparked from because it was all of that is due to Nancy Pelosi's masterpiece of pettiness.
We need to be bringing the country together, like Trump said. Come on, guys. USA all the way. But
I mean, yeah,
I'll
we
check it
shouldn't
out. I
be
definitely missed it.
bitching about his weight. I mean, he provides lots of shade.
You're a dick.
Barron can't be hot in the White House at all.
Yeah, but yeah,
Oh
I
my
totally agree.
God! But then I feel bad because, well, I don't feel bad for her, but just the thought of Melania having to deal with that.
Look, she made her bed. She can lie in it. She's fine.
She can't. She can't fit with him next to her. It's too easy. Okay, let me stop. And I say this as a fat person myself. That's sad that I'm like cutting fat jokes. I shouldn't do that.
I mean, apparently only black people can make black jokes, so
Yeah, fat people can fat shame. Boom. There you
it's fine.
go.
Maybe that's the rule.
Yes, that's the rule. Anyway, so we don't have topics on this show, of course. We just talk about bullshit, as you see right now. So we're gonna dive into talking about bullshit and let this guy talk about his playthrough of Red Dead Redemption 2. So
Oh
you
God.
have finally played through the game, you've beaten it, you've hunted as much as you could, you've traded horses, you've saved random people all over the world, got murdered by random people all over the world. What say you for the game?
First, I think it's funny that you say finally, I guess, because I think it was around the time it first came out or something. I think we were both gonna play it, and then I kept putting it
Yeah,
off.
you just never played it. Like 2 years later, like, it was the fucking SpongeBob meme.
So the reason I never really took it up is I saw everybody talk about how long it was. And I was like, all right, I don't really have time right now to invest in this. But we're in the COVID era, so I am home a lot. So I decided now was about the perfect time to finally do it. Bought it about a week or so ago. Grinded through it for about a week, and it destroyed my life. Not gonna lie, I had to play it from like almost as soon as I woke up throughout the whole day. I think I mentioned it on the podcast that I started working out back in February or something. I skipped like 2 days for that game. I made it back up later, but like I guess I kept thinking like, all right, I must be like nearing the end or something at some point soon. And every time I thought that something in the plot would happen, like, oh, I guess we're not close to an ending here. Holy shit.
Yeah, I think the game's 12 chapters, but it feels like an eternity. It feels like more like 1,200 chapters at some points.
But I guess as a high overview statement of what I would describe the game as is a masterpiece riddled with small, intensely annoying issues. So graphically, the thing is amazing. There's very few games I've seen at that level, especially at that scale, because the map is enormous. Could spend hours just riding around the countryside on horseback. It looks stunning, different times of day, different weather.
Yeah.
Uh, as a life sim, it's pretty involved. Your hair grows. You got to go, but you don't have to. But I do go and get haircuts, change your clothes. You actually get dirty. You can like see the dirt on your skin. You wash yourself off.
Yeah, it's funny that the amount of time you have to groom, including with your horse, because I brush my horse regularly.
I brush it almost every time I get off. Especially if something bad happens, like if we take a tumble or something. Oh shit! Oh buddy, like brush it off, feed it, pet it, because you can
I mean,
increase your bond with your horse.
exactly. Your bond with it grows through that too. So work doing that.
Yeah, you need to actually sleep throughout the day. I think you can maybe get by somewhat with just food and whatnot, but you have these. I really like their system. They have like these core attributes of your core health, your core energy, or whatever, and then an outside circle. So like in combat, or if you're running, that outer circle to your energy will kind of deplete. But like if you don't sleep throughout the day, your core energy depletes.
All right.
I don't know if you die or something. I've never let it get that low. But
Well, yeah, I'm curious as to what happens. I guess I would think that you probably just pass the fuck out, and then like you get your rest, and then you wake up like 20 hours later, something like that. Oh shit!
It's quite the involved life sim, and I like that on some level. So that with the graphics, it's a very impressive game. The story, I take some issues with it, but it was overall a pretty solid story. But like I
What
said, like,
issues did you take from it? By the way, hold on. Before you continue, and I'm going to, gosh, one thing about this thing that it doesn't give you a timestamp, um, and I wish it did. But you guys, if you don't want to hear any spoilers about Red Dead Redemption 2, even though it's a couple of years old now, so you probably have already heard spoilers. At least it's close to a couple. When did it come out? 2018, 19.
I want to say 18.
I think it came out 18. So you're closing in a couple of years of this game being out. So you don't want to hear spoilers. And I'll have to go back on my editing and try to find this time set. But yeah,
Sure.
just watch for spoilers, please.
Yeah, it's a spoiler warning sufficiently made.
Yeah.
And I don't know that I'm going to talk too much about the story per se, but the story felt a little bit repetitive to me. So a large theme in the story is it's the end of the age of outlaws. Essentially, you're sort of running from the law, trying to escape and lay low, but the law and other forces keep finding you. Uh, I say it's repetitive. You go through like, for example, you'll set up camp in places like this place near the city of Valentine. I should say town. It's not that big. Uh, Eventually, somebody finds you, either the law or one of the rival gangs. You have to pick up and move somewhere else, and you do this like 5 times. I want to say you go through about 5, 6 camps, and the way the story like keeps forcing you to pack up everything and move, to me, it felt repetitive. Like, I get it. You're trying to run and you can't escape all these forces. I get the theme, but it got a little long in the tooth for me there.
I don't think it probably would have bothered you as much if it wasn't for the fact that it's something we discussed. You having to do the upgrades and like the upkeep, like build a better camp and to make things run more efficient and give you like, you build the truck so you can just walk to the truck and get ammo for free anytime you want it, or you help. Gosh, I can't think of the cook. It's the name, but you help him out to make
Peterson.
better stores and to help you upgrade certain things and all that, or like the boat. I found the boat the most dumb, and it's funny because I went through the whole rigmarole of upgrading everything in the camp just so I can probably get that trophy. I think is what I was doing, but including the boat. Which how many times did you use that damn boat?
I didn't. I did buy it, but I never used it once, to be
Right.
honest.
Like, and I upgraded that shit fully, and I upgraded all that stuff fully. I put money in the till all constantly. Not just spending my own money to upgrade, but I was like dumping money in for them and all that. It's like it was a nice mini game side quest thing, I guess. For those who are into like Sim City and stuff like that, maybe I don't know. Um, which I am because I'm a fucking nerd. Anyway, yeah, the upgrading of the camp. I don't know how much of a benefit it was because a lot of the stuff that you got, you can find in the world too.
Yeah, I didn't really personally care about getting those weapons upgrades because that's not where I tended to reload anyway. Or
Right.
restock, I suppose. It was not. I would bring back food for Pearson to make the meals more nutritious, I guess, but I never ate there like once or twice just because it happened to be ready while I was there. But most of the time I'm out in the world, not while he's making breakfast or whatever. So, uh, but I'll say it was bothering me by at least the third time of packing up and moving. Just not even the mechanic of the camp, just the actual story thread of having to pack up and move every time. Maybe it's because I was, immediately distrustful of Dutch, and it's like, all right, we got a plan, and we're gonna lay low, and it's like, but we're not laying low, motherfucker. Every time we go somewhere, you have this like elaborate plot that's gonna like get everybody in the town to want to kill us. So,
Right.
I think Dutch kind of, and his tendency to say we're going to lay low, but also do some like city ending bullshit. is what made it feel a bit more repetitive to me, because I never believed it when we went to a new place. Like, yeah, we're gonna lay low, pretend to be normal fucking people. No, we're not.
Yeah, no, the Braithwaite and Graves thing stands out the most. It's like he just came up with this wild ass plan, and it's just like, yo, you're putting us in the middle of a feud. That's not. That's
But
just wow.
since I mentioned the camp as part of the repetitiveness, the camp was also just an issue to me because there are areas in the game where they slow down your movement. One of the main, which being the camps that you're at, and it just makes for me being at camp unfucking bearable because movement throughout the camp is super slow.
Yeah, you can't run.
Right.
I found that very fucking weird.
And you can talk to NPCs, and the NPCs have their own interactions, which is nice, but they're not marked on the map. So I'm just slowly trotting along the camp, trying to find out where they are. And I think I mentioned what's her name, Sadie, Sadie Adler. I honestly did not see her at all until the mission that you need to do with her, where she like shows off what a gun-toting psycho she is. And I actually actively looked for her a few times, and every time I would get pissed off and leave because I just couldn't deal with the slow motion trying to find her through the camp.
Yeah, if it wasn't an active mission, finding things wasn't that um, pleasant, shall we
Yeah.
say?
Anytime I came back, I would like anybody I could see in the immediate area, I would talk to them, but I would just get annoyed at some
I
point.
found it got worse though. Was oddly enough when you went with the Braithwaites, because you ended up in that house.
Yeah.
Everything was a lot more spread out, and you had a lot. It's funny because you would think, well, okay, you're at a house, travel distance should be shorter, but no, having to go upstairs, downstairs, in this back room, all that, it kind of ended up taking a toll on me, at least. Um, Became annoying.
Even in
It also
cities like
made like me. It's funny because you mentioned how you automatically distrusted Dutch because of all his plans. I think that as a holding place, probably the worst because when you think about it, you had that lake to the back where you first got the boat, and you started upgrading it, and the front was off the road from the main road where everybody traveled to the town. So it was kind of like a pretty locked in area to hide at, like back against the wall. Not the best of the place for a band of bandits to fucking want to hole up in. Nice digs, but yeah, not the smartest thing.
oh, you could also get some fish right off the side.
Yeah, but
You know,
again, Lawcom,
no, it's not
where
the
you
best
be going.
strategically. It just, but even in cities, like the horse speed I noticed is severely slowed down. So at one point, I got like a faster horse, and I was going through Saint Denis or whatever, and like the speed in the city is just slowed down. So it's like, what is the point of having a fast horse if I have to wait until I get into the wilderness to move fast? It's so just the traversal speed in some cases is wildly annoying.
Yeah.
I do like the NPC characters on some level. They do feel, for the most part, like people outside of like Jack and Abigail seems like weirdly consistently bitchy, I guess. Uh, but I like them. I wanted to talk to them, but I just found the action of doing so annoying.
Very.
Uh, to me, Mass Effect 2 does it better than most because you talk to them a lot. You have like full ass quests that you go into the world with them to do. It's a lot more interacting with those characters in a deeper, meaningful way. Whereas these characters, it's largely just like fetch quests. You don't even really learn that much about them.
Well, I thought I didn't think everything was fetch quests, but of course the ones that were poorly implemented. Because I think you mentioned this when talking to me. I think you complained about it. I should say. Uh, you had to find an item for somebody or something. And I remember you complaining about how you couldn't find her in the camp. I think it was
Oh yeah,
Sadie. And I think that's the thing. It's like you had these random conversations with people, and they'd be like, "Yeah, I really miss like having that watch I used to have." And it's like,
right.
okay, they're kind of indicating to you like you need to go, and if you find a watch, bring it back to this person. but nothing's triggered by you finding that watch or whatever like specific item or task they want to do. It's just hopefully you'll bump into them and they'll be like, oh shit, you got this? Oh wow, thanks.
Yeah, I did bitch because I was very annoyed because I looked up the locations of these items. I got them for most of the characters, and I would come back to camp and I'm like, where is this bitch for her watch? Like just
Yeah, because nobody sat still, with the exception of like, no, not even that. When I think about it, not even the people who had like missions, like actual specific missions tied to where you had to go find them, they didn't necessarily stay still either.
not always no.
Yeah, so yeah, to find people, because people like, in a camp, you move around and you do different things, which totally made sense. But yo, this ain't happening in the video game. We can't be that like. There were certain things I felt like they were way too over detailed with, and certain things they were kind of not as detailed enough. It was weird.
I could accept the movement if you at least mark them on the map.
Right.
And also if you make them stop moving when you're talking to them, because I'd mentioned at one point they don't stop moving when you talk to them, and you mentioned like, yeah, because they're going to move you along to the next, checkpoint. Where I'm like, no, this is like at the camp. If you trigger a conversation with them while they're walking, they just look over their shoulder and keep walking while they talk until they like are out of distance, and then you have to like run to catch up with them, but you can't run in the camp, so it's like
no, you can't even fast walk. That's the fucked up part.
they don't stop walking. So like if you start this conversation, you need to start walking with them because they're not going to stop moving.
Yeah, no, they're not.
So all that to say, like I like aspects of the camp and stuff, but the implementation of it makes it very frustrating, which caused me to not stay around as much.
Yeah, that camp was garbage. And I say it's garbage because you end up like pretty much throwing it in the trash once you're all just mad. Like it is garbage.
That I mean, I have mixed feelings about that, I suppose, because unlike a lot of people, like when I finish a game like that, I don't tend to keep playing afterward. I'm pretty much done. So I go out of my way to like do all the side missions and shit that I can before finishing the game, because once I'm done, I don't really want to play anymore. So I could kind of accept it on some level, but it seems weird in a game that I shouldn't say forces you, but encourages you to spend so much time gathering resources, building up this sort of
they kind
life
of
around
force. It's funny because when you think about it, one thing that they forced you into could have changed the whole dynamic of the story. If you think about it, you know what I'm talking about, right?
One thing that they force you into.
Yeah.
Not sure what you mean.
So, I can't think of the guy's name, but you know the guy who was the debt collector?
Oh, yeah. The German guy.
Yeah. He forced you to die. You never realized that, did you?
No.
The first debt that he sent you to, that guy on the farm that you like killed with his wife?
He's where you got the tuberculosis.
He's where you got the disease from.
Oh my god.
He forced your fucking ass to die.
Oh my god. Because I remember when Arthur tells you that, or not tells you, but says he got tuberculosis from beating a man or whatever. I was like, which man? When did we get this?
Because I don't know if you paid attention or you ever, well, you had to do that mission, but I don't know if you paid attention to the conversation that you have with his wife and his kid later on in that town. But they kind of mentioned like, yeah, he was sick and all that anyway and stuff like that. And it's like, yo, yeah. You fucking got me killed, you motherfucker, because you sent me with somebody with the disease and I contracted it.
Yeah, I didn't make the connection because I obviously I knew they both had TB. I just figured it was like some kind of weird irony because he didn't really start showing the symptoms until after that island phase.
Right. It took
maybe not after, maybe a little before or something. But yeah.
But he got sick by having that dude bleed all over his fist and shit. So
okay, that definitely ties it up for me because I actually meant to look up what interaction he was talking about. That because again, I assumed because it happened near the island time of the story that he must have punched some islander.
It was them introducing a side quest line that you can do if you choose to do that killed you. A side fucking quest option.
That is brutal.
Very much so. Very much so.
Well, yeah, but I guess the overall point I'm making there is it in this game you spend so much time taking care of the camp, taking care of your horse. You know, it's like a life sim on in a lot of ways, and then they just take it all away from you.
Right. And then they
Like,
throw you into the epilogue where you really don't have to do much, really. Which is like, yo, I spent all this meticulous time. I bought that man some fancy ass duds when we got to the fake New Orleans town. I can't think of the name of it. Saint Denis.
yeah.
Like I bought him all these fancy ass duds and shit like that. He was looking sharp. Yo, I was walking around looking like, the most prettiest assassin in the world or whatever. Like, and fucking yeah, nah.
It, and then you lose everything. You lose the horses, you lose the money, which even the money feels kind of stupid because once you beat the epilogue, you get like $20,000, which makes it feel like all the gathering up to that point was stupid anyway because 20,000 will buy you pretty much anything you want in that game.
No, I disagree. Because I had way more than 20,000. Because I worked on so much. I worked on so many things that I could collect money.
As
I
Arthur,
swear I had at least $100,000.
as Arthur, you got it.
Yeah, as Arthur.
Okay, maybe
I
I
swear I
don't.
had at least 100,000, if not more.
I think that's why it doesn't bother me because I mean, you can actually. I did see somebody say you can go and find Arthur's money. Uh, it's like behind some kind of painting or some shit somewhere. I can't. I didn't bother, but there's like a place where you can find the money that he had.
I mean, but for what for? Because at that point, like,
Right.
yeah.
I didn't bother to do it because I was done with the game. Like I didn't really
Yeah,
want.
that's what I'm saying. At that point, you're pretty much done. You've completed all story, and it's like, it's really not much loose end wise that you probably want to tie up at that point. Especially if you're someone like me who played the first Red Dead, because you didn't play it, right?
No.
And you already know like what this is leading to. Kind of feel like this is kind of stupid for me to go through all this shit with him now because it's gonna end up just like Red Dead 2. All for naught.
Yeah. Both in the mechanics and in the story, just this overwhelming sense of futility. Like none of it really matters in the end. You lose everything you gathered. You die. You give your life to give this dude a better life, and he dies, and his son goes to shit too, and the wife dies. It's like both, like I said, both in the story and in the gameplay. Like so much seems to not matter by the end.
Yeah, and I know for me, of course, I have an issue with Rockstar styles of gameplay and all that, so that kind of weighed on me. But I guess now having this conversation, I think part of my problem too was that I played the first Red Dead, and I know that I just played first Red Dead, maybe 30 hours gameplay, which is significantly huge for that time, of course. But I found like it was much more fun up until the fact when you die, of course. But I feel like with this game, I probably put in like 60 hours just to know that I was leading up to the thing that I spent 30 hours to fucking like in futilely. So it's like, yo, you added insult to injury. Like I fucking just added another 60, 70 hours and created a 100-hour experience over the last 10 years of my life. It culminates to no matter what you do, you're fucked. That's just pissy. It's
Yeah.
fucking pissy.
Like I said, on some level, I can live with it because I don't intend to play the game after beating it, but it's still kind of shitty.
Yeah. And it's worse, again, for me because Arthur's not mentioned at all in the first Red Dead. He's totally inconsequential. Like all his sacrifice, all his work, everything he did to try to keep the gang together and then to eventually save the people he cared about the most. And nobody gives a fuck. That's why I kind of wish, like, if they do make a Red Dead 3, they'll have it with either Sadie or Charles, so that at least Arthur can live on in some capacity. Because I can't imagine that Sadie or Charles wouldn't mention this guy. Whereas, like, Dick fucking Marston, just like, yeah, fuck, I'm live now. Fuck you. Thanks for saving me. You go to hell. Leave my memories.
I guess I just assumed Arthur is a retcon, that he never existed back when the first one was made.
Yeah, no, it is, because I've always found that when they announced Red Dead and said it was going to be prequel, I always found it was weird that they were going to do that. But I would have thought that they would at least found a way to kind of tie it a bit more. Other than this shows you how the gang like broke up.
It's a little frustrating. I will say I never came to like Sadie personally.
Oh, I love Sadie. Oh my god, Sadie's awesome.
I just found her annoying all the way through.
Nah, Sadie's awesome, especially when she becomes the bounty hunter. Yo, I almost shit myself when she almost died. Her and Charles. I was mad when her and Charles got hit in that like end sequence. I was like, yo, you're gonna kill the only two people I care about right now.
She
Stop it.
brought up Micah in front of Abigail. It's like, are you out of your? What are you doing, bruh? Right in front of Abigail? Like, I think because I already didn't like Sadie, I was like, bruh, why would you do that? You're just gonna bring this up right in front of this woman?
No, I kind of always like Sadie because, like, from the conversation, I guess maybe I had more conversations with you as a side outside of the mission thing, like whatever she was looking for. I would talk to Sadie all the time. Like, the more you talk to Sadie, the more you start to like get her, I think, and maybe that's what it is.
Might be part of it because, like I said, I only talked to her like once or twice before the mission where she starts shooting folks. And like
I used to talk to Sadie regularly and like see how she was doing. You kind of saw her, like you kind of knew she was like, because she, I don't know if you had the conversation with her once where she was talking about, yeah, I want to learn how to, do this and do that and stuff like that because it'll make her feel better and like hopefully she can help like settle. Like she grew as a character. I always find myself going back. So maybe that's why I like Sadie, because I always found myself having a conversation with her. Like, so when she finally did flip like she did, it was like running through the camp like, fucking, goddamn Laura Croft or something, just murdering everything in a way. Like, fuck that. Yeah, I was like, oh shit, Sadie's going off. I was kind of proud to see her get to that point.
The only interaction I really remember with her before, and the mission I mean is like her and Pearson are arguing or some shit. So you like intervene and you like take her on a trip, and then it turns into like a shootout out in the path or whatever. Yeah. But only interaction I remember before that was I said hi, and she's like, my husband was better than all you fucking killers or whatever she said. I was like, all right, you're a bitch. I mean, her husband died. I get it.
Kind of did start out like kind of offish, but like I said, if you actually went and kept talking to her, you started to like thaw her out and get like why she fuck you. Because I mean, shit.
I wasn't mad. Like they went in there, killed her husband. Fucking this idiot over here burned her house down. Like, I understood it, which is what I think. That's why I mentioned her, because like we have this lady who just went through this horrible thing. I do want to talk to her, but I can never find her in enough time for me to not get pissed off and leave.
The problem, like finding these people, it always was. Maybe it was like in my random encounter, she just happened to be one of the first people I ran into all the time. I wonder how random it is, but yeah, no, I love Sadie, and I want Sadie to have her own bounty hunter game. She just goes to like fucking murders everybody.
I came to at least be interested in characters like I like Charles. The German guy escapes me now, but I thought he was a dick, but I at least was
Is
interested
it
in him. I guess.
Strauss?
Yeah,
I think it's
Strauss, Air Strauss. Uh, not Jose. I like Hosea too.
yo,
Uh,
Hosea was oh man. Hosea was a dude.
Dutch was an annoying prick. Like, there's characters that like stood out to me, but there's other characters where like I didn't care much about them, or I couldn't bother to find them to interact. Like, I didn't like Abigail that much.
Oh no.
I talked to Tilly a little bit, but like she never really told
It
me
was
anything of
cool.
value. Like she would just say like hi or whatever, and then you find out she was like part of some other gang or some shit. I'm like, bruh, like
I've had a couple of conversations with Tilly. Tilly was cool. Tilly was cool. Her and Lenny, they were cool.
Lenny, I liked it, but like I think that's probably the reason I prefer like Mass Effect, at least Mass Effect 2's thing, because the conversations, at least I would have with
A lot more
characters,
deeper,
right?
definitely. When you
They're
run into them.
longer, they're deep, yeah.
Well,
Whereas,
one, you could always find them because they were always where like they were going to be. So
but a lot of these interactions, they're just like, hey, what's up? Some random shit back. All right, better. I guess I gotta go. I won't bother you anymore. Blah blah blah. Like they're very. There's like four back and forth interactions, and then you just kind of go off to somebody else.
yeah, again, maybe my random conversation streak was different because like I would run into a lot of them and they would just wax poetic about all types of stuff. Even Dutch's girlfriend, I think, a couple of times.
Some of them did
Because
talk longer, but
interact. Yeah.
I think too many of the conversations I had led me to believe that most of them weren't going to be interesting. And I'll say this: the point I'm making there is building up to the point that I did not care about John Marston at all because I never really talked to him the entire game. Like, I remember, like, oh, he's this guy who got attacked by wolves or something.
I don't
And
think it
yeah,
would have changed if you did because maybe he's always been that way, including the first one. But John was just like bitch, 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 bitch. Which he had a fair point in a lot of ways because yeah, Dutch was wilder and the things that we're doing, but a lot of John's conversations kind of to me seem like kind of wasted air because it's like okay, and again, I guess this is the problem with making a prequel after words is that you know where this is going. Like for me, I know where this is going. So hearing him have animosity and feelings a certain type of way about wanting to change, like it's kind of redundant for me because it's similar to the conversations that he would have with people randomly in the first Red Dead about the situation. Like he, pretty much the conversation he had was the exact same conversation that you got when you started Red Dead and you like went through the first sequence and everybody he would run into to help him get to his ultimate goal. It was just like the same thing, him breaking down like, how he felt and the things that changed. And yeah, Dutch went crazy and blah 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 blah. So yeah, I guess at that point I was just like over him because it's like, yeah, okay, I get it, dude. You don't want to be in this life no more. I know.
I, I didn't even have that experience with the bitching because I just never really talked to him. Like, I had one or two interactions, like, all right, he's just some guy who got attacked by wolves or whatever. Like, I didn't see him as interesting. He never really, like I said, like I hated being at the camp, so I would like kind of prioritize a few people. To me, he was like a background character. So when you're reaching the end, and then all of a sudden he takes up all this importance because I never played the first. I was like, why the fuck is this
But
guy suddenly so important?
you saying that, if you really think about it, as much as John Marston seems to be a like character in video game history, he really wasn't the most interesting thing in first Red Dead either. It was all the like fun. It's just like how the supporting characters can be very very interesting or be more interesting um than maybe Arthur. Arthur was a lot more interesting.
Yeah,
Arthur had a hell of a lot more depth and a lot more like weight to him and it could be just a sign of the times because again, first Red Dead came in what 10 years ago now, so the writing and things like that
I didn't feel like the
kind of
writing
hit
for
different.
John was good here. Like, he just felt really dull. But I talk about
Yeah.
like all the non-player characters. Like he's one of the dullest. Like, whenever I would talk to them, I don't remember anything he
But
said.
no, I mean, as the playable character in the first Red Dead, he was probably less interesting than the non-playable character in a lot of ways. I mean, because thinking back to like a lot of the people, like some people do come back. What's that shyster dude? I can't think of his name.
Shyster.
Uh, he took you on a couple of missions where you had to go help him, like get some money from people, like end up running into bandits, and it was one particular thing where you were running through a cornfield or something, chasing some bandits or something. I can't think of his name. Um, it's a foreign name, but I can't think of him. He was in the first one, and he would always lead you to trouble. Um, I think another guy was some guy who was selling medicine. Was he in Red Dead 2? I know he shows up in Red Dead 1, but he might have been in Red Dead 2 too. It's a couple of like side piece characters that
Trelawney.
Lonnie,
Trelawney.
yeah, Trelawney. Him. He was in the second one. I mean in the first one. Um, you know, so him being in the second was kind of giving a little depth to who he was, but a lot of the fucking side people were much more interesting than John. John was just like your vessel. And I feel like that's why he's probably not that interested in twos because, like, you connected with him because of his plight, but I don't feel like you connected with John because of who he was. If that makes sense.
I didn't care about him at all until the epilogue, and getting into this sort of struggle with him, wanting to be a better man, wanting to be a father and a husband, all this stuff, but at the same time, like having grown up in this life and not being really able to
Right.
domesticate and shit, and then essentially like losing his wife and kid and having to like become better and win them back. Like that was a story I could latch onto, but I wasn't attached to him before that story, even though he'd been there the entire time.
Right. He became more of just like it's also in the first one, it was just like, damn, he's in this fucked up situation. I feel bad for him because he would always say things like, I'm just trying to get back to my family. I just want to live a normal life. And it's like, yeah, I can get that. But I would, I can't say that it was anything about him as a person that stood out to me.
And it, I mean, like I said, I didn't play the first one, so when we took over as him, I was just shocked and amazed. Like, why the fuck does this guy suddenly matter? And I didn't connect until a bit later that, like, oh, he must be the main character of the next one. And it didn't help that Jack, as a child, is even more dry than John. Uh, when he gets a little older in the epilogue, like he has like a couple smart ass remarks here and there. I'm like, okay, somebody like grew a soul and personality a little bit, but he still wasn't like.
Yeah, he loses it in the first one. Trust me.
So I didn't care about his son really either. And Abigail, I don't like Abigail. I just like I can accept like some playful banter between the man and wife and all that shit. That's just how relationships are. But she just like nonstop kind of bitchy to the point where like it's not funny. Like,
Yeah.
and like I said, since I didn't like her, I wasn't interested in her kid. Didn't give a shit about John. I didn't care about them as a family until the epilogue. So it was just odd. It was kind of a sharp transition for me.
Yeah, no. John really isn't as dynamic of character as people like to point him out to be, but okay, people. Some John Marston. Again, thinking back to the first one, I love a lot more people before I love John Marston.
like I don't want to make the whole thing sound like I'm bitching. Like, because I think a lot of the game was really well done. I played it for a long time and didn't put it down because despite all the shit that pissed me off, I did really I don't regret playing the game. Like, it was a good game overall. I think even just a few things could have made it so much better. Like, even just small things like not slowing me down in camp would have made the camp experience a lot more bearable. Would have led me to talk to the characters more. It would have just added a lot more. Just even something simple like that. I bitched a little bit about how difficult fast travel is, but the world is so fucking beautiful. Like, I wasn't really ever that mad about it.
Yeah.
Especially because so much actually happens while you're out in the world. So many little side things. I remember one time I was like riding along with the horse. And I noticed this like big red thing of blood in the field. I'm like, what the fuck was that? So I turn around and like I trace the blood back to this like serial killer spot. I don't know if you did that side mission, but like
Maybe not.
there's like these 3 spots in the world where like maybe you can just stumble upon them, but I stumble upon the blood first. You like trail it back, and then there's like half a body strung up on something, and there's like 3 bodies like that in the world, and their heads are separated. And if you find their heads, there's like a piece of paper in them, and then if you put the pieces of paper together,
No, I
it
never
spells
did.
out a
What the
message.
fuck?
Yeah, so if you find these 3 victims and you put the papers together, it spells out something like "Can you find me?" or something like that. And then I can't remember, something else happens, and then you kind of like track this down. You're essentially like trying to piece together this murder mystery and find this killer. So you like go to his dungeon, and it is a fucking, it is like bodies and shit. Just it's a very gruesome bunker room in this one field where the guy was like making art out of their bodies and shit. He's like a crazy guy. Uh, so and he tries to do it to you, but you like pick up a head and like throw it at him and knock him out, and then bring him to the police. It. My point is, there's a lot of like wild ass side
Yeah,
missions.
no, I mean, they do have a lot of that. I remember I did the Civil War veteran dude shit.
Yeah, pretty sure I killed him.
I
Can
don't
you
know if
kill
I
him?
killed him or not.
I'm almost certain I killed him. Yes, I did, because he was like at a campfire, and then I tied him up and put him on the fire.
I'm
The
trying to
first time.
think. Did I? No, because I know you could kill him, but I don't think I killed him.
Uh, for these guys who don't know, there's like this war veteran who like is on hard economic times. You like go to his house to get some stuff for him, and you find out that he was like a slave owner or trainer or beater. I don't know what the fuck he was exactly, but I was like, all right, you work with slaves, so I'm gonna kill you. So, uh, that lady up in the north who you taught how to hunt and shit. That dude with the circus who lost his animals.
Yeah, now that's news to me. The circus dude. Okay.
You didn't
You
spot
see,
him.
you delved a lot more because again, like I said, when we did, by the way, shameless plug for the Wise Guy Gaming Sports and Entertainment channel. There is a full Red Dead Redemption spoiler cast with me, Lady Infamous, and Try Guy. If you want to go back and visit that, so yeah, do that. But anyway, no, for me, and like I told them, once I got to a certain hour count, I was just like, yo, I need this shit to end. So I just stopped. I ignored every fucking side mission I could, unless it like somehow got triggered by me and I couldn't help it because I just stumbled upon it. I think the only side missions I consistently did, and yeah, this might sound, teeny bit racist, but when freedom the slaves came into the equation, or I saw a black person getting fucked with by somebody, killing people, I murdered them.
Yeah, no,
And I let the black people go.
I stopped for almost everything. There was like a couple where like they would be carrying off some prisoner, and I'm like, I can't tell if that prisoner actually did something wrong, so I usually just let him go. Like, all right, they arrested him for some reason, fuck it. But any side of it, that's why that one dude with the horse, like for me, it wasn't just about getting the horse, like it was a side mission, so I was gonna do it anyway. So
Me never. Like I think my breaking point was once we got past the camp where Sadie went nuts. The swamp camp. That was my breaking point. It was side missions. I was like, yo, you know what? I just need to run through it. Well, I take that back. There was one side mission that I couldn't avoid, and that was him finally, like, I guess, making peace with the relationship with that girl.
Oh, I thought they were gonna be together. Well, I said I didn't think they were gonna be together, but I also didn't think he was gonna fucking die. Like, Jesus.
Right. You know, you thought at least they would have got to a point where maybe they would have established something. But she was like, no, I gotta go, and thank you and all that. And you'd be like, yo, motherfucker, what? Especially since I took her to like the movies and shit.
I sat through that whole fucking thing.
Right. Like, yo, we went to the theater.
I will say that theater thing, like the graphics were like stunning in there. Like they almost looked fucking. Maybe it's because the characters were like at a distance, but I was like, God damn, that fire dancing bitch, she looked real as hell. Like, I'm sure there was like some motion capture, or whatever. But it's like, holy crap! Like I did watch it, but it kind of made me more bitter toward John and Abigail. So I'm like, all right, I spent all this time over here trying to fix this thing that didn't work. And I don't care about you two, so. But like, if anybody plays, like, honestly, a lot of those side missions can get really wild. Like I said, there was that serial killer mystery one that I did. There's this one where this scientist who like makes this robot person. Those it out there? I mean, there's just so fucking many of them. I honestly thought that I was gonna have like a Frankenstein monster situation during one of those side missions. So like,
I'm trying to think, because I feel like there was a side mission where they mentioned some kind of like ghost or something.
I might have missed it.
But it didn't turn out to be like a actual ghost or anything. I feel like they did do something, especially when you were near the fucking breakweights and grays. I feel like that's where Mayo came out.
I didn't 100% or anything, but like when I went to look up like a couple locations and stuff, I saw people would mention like, oh, in this one place there's like the man bear pig from like South Park or whatever. I'm like, yeah, I'm not gonna go find it. I saw a picture. I was like, yeah, that looks scary as fuck. Somebody said something about aliens. I was like, nah, I'm good. I can't imagine 100%ing that game, honestly. Especially because some of the things are like time sensitive.
Yeah.
Like I didn't get all the fetch items to all the people in the camp because some of them just kind of expired before I realized that I had to do them. Which is another fun thing, is that some of the quests are only available during certain times of the day. So
yeah, I know. Or certain people are there and all that.
I made planning rough. Because I would like ride up like all the way across and get there. I'm like, what the fuck? It disappeared. And then it took me a second to realize like, oh, because it's nighttime and he's only here during the day. So I gotta ride back out of the town, make camp, wait till morning, and then.
Right.
Jesus fucking Christ. I got back to the bitching, but I do like the game. I don't know if I would recommend it just because of the time sink it is, but if you end up with like a shit ton of free time, or you're better able to pace yourself than I am.
We all have a shit ton of free time right now.
True, I guess that's kind of why I played it. I think maybe if I'd gone in more to stick in like, because I see all these people playing like Animal Crossing and all that shit, weeks and weeks on ends and shit. Maybe if I just went in thinking like, all right, this is essentially a life sim or whatever with a story, maybe I would have paced it a little bit better. But I kept thinking of it as just a story that I kind of want to get through.
Well, no, it was built as like, hey, come play this linear story. Rockstar being Rockstar throws in like a shit ton of other stuff before you actually get to the end of your journey.
But I think that's part of the reason I paced it the way I did, because I'm like, to me, it's just a story that I'm going to finish in a day or so. Like I finish most games. I'm like, if I entered with a different attitude, I might have like slowed down, absorbed the story slower or something. If I just kind of accepted that this is going to take like a couple weeks from the start, that might have made it easier for me to swallow.
Yeah. At least you played the masterpiece that many have called the best game of the generation. Blah 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 blah. Calm down, y'all. It's a great looking game. Good
I think
storytelling, but yeah.
Usually when I say masterpiece, I mean more from a technical standpoint, but like.
Yeah, I would say that too, technically, because like you said, the fidelity of the graphics was just whoa.
And I appreciate the actual life sim aspect of it. So I think in a lot of ways it was very impressive.
I don't
wouldn't call it
appreciate the life because
best.
I don't appreciate random bounty hunters coming and murder you. So fuck them.
I kind of appreciate like how different a lot of those interactions were. Like at one point you're riding back toward camp and then you ride toward past this like a wreckage thing and it just fucking explodes. Like they all jump out. I'm like, all right, that wasn't just a random interaction. That had to be like planned.
Oh man, the worst was the last time that you guys were camped at with the fucking cannibal people. God damn. Like you couldn't ride no road. They were waiting.
The few times I made the mistake of camping outside, they'd fucking be there. Like,
yeah, no, they would catch you at every fucking bend. They were like, yo, we ain't playing. We gonna get your ass.
Well, I was like sitting at the fire, so one of these two brothers or whatever came and like one of them put the gun to the back of my head and was like talking shit. It's like, this time it's a warning. I was like, fuck that. So I just hunted it down and killed them both. But I could not escape these motherfuckers after that.
All right.
They
were wild. They were fucking wild. And then it got worse when you got to the point where you were John and they fucking filleted Uncle and shit. Like
that was. I honestly thought he was gonna die because I was like,
too. I mean, he does, by the way, because he dies with you in Red Dead 1. Just to let you know.
Yeah, I saw that.
And felt the fucking injury.
I went and looked it up.
Yeah, Uncle gets it first, and then.
But because I see what they were doing to other people, like, oh, he's dead already. Like even John, not John, the half black, half Indian guy, Charles.
Yeah.
Like when you're going out there, he's like, look, man, this might not be about saving him. This might be about ending his suffering. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
Because you see what they've been doing to motherfuckers out here. You got to be prepared. Maybe he wants to, bang.
Yeah, I mean, they showed his back. That shit. Ugh. Son of a bitch. Fucking get flayed. Ugh.
That might have been the one time I wanted.
Flayed and roasted. Jesus Christ. Oh my god.
They only capture that. Even when you're bringing back the plywood to build the house, and they like catch you on the street with those two like hired guns Charles got. They only got that fucking guy for like 10 seconds, and they like
they murdered the fuck out of the guy who sold you the fucking stuff. Like, yo, he just was trying to make a buck. Why is this dude like fucking?
He was talking shit about like I love my family and all this shit. And the next thing you know, he's impaled through the neck on a tree. I'm like, oh my god!
Like Jesus.
Very graphic shit.
They were the worst. It was like every time you left the house, they would be there around.
But they were hungry, they wanted some protein. Fucking Christ.
Which goes to show John's a fucking moron. Why would you fucking put your house right there where as soon as you leave your like land, not even leave your land, because they would come onto your land and fuck with you too.
That camp they have where like, with the cave or whatever, and you see like the bodies in the cages and shit. Actually, no. I was gonna say it's worse than the serial killer den. It's not. It's better. That serial killer den is a nightmare. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, that game.
But when I can face my PS4 again, I'm looking forward to playing Star Wars. And
I'm curious to see what you think of that, because I've heard mostly positive stuff about that game. Yeah.
Right now, I'm like grinding a lot in Final Fantasy 14 because they've got a little event before the next. I think it's like 5.3 or something, and it allows you to get items that otherwise are kind of grindy to get. So I'm kind of grinding out for the next week or so. But
meanwhile, I'm grinding to get a computer together.
Nerd.
Hey, it's time. Need a new computer. getting the parts. It's funny because as you were talking about Red Dead, I got an alert that came up on my computer that my processor has shipped. So I'm getting closer. They said my processor is supposed to show up when tomorrow. So that will be 5 out of the 7 key components that I needed to get. Put this together.
I'm wondering if I should have got it on PC because I believe it did release and I saw it, but I was like,
Yeah.
I love my PS4.
I haven't really heard a lot about the PC. So
I think it only just came out recently. But
yeah. I'm supposed to get my processor tomorrow. My motherboard and my case, 2 things that I really need. They don't have delivery dates yet, or they haven't shipped. So.
You don't need a case. Just kind of get like a couple wooden blocks, kind of, open air.
I
mean, that's
definitely need the motherboard, like shit.
I mean, get some tin foil or some kind of.
Nah, I need that motherboard. Hopefully, they will wrap this one. And don't just sit the motherboard in its original packaging. That
Just give us a motherboard. Like, I mean, I guess like who there's gonna really know what the fuck that is and try to steal it?
Well, yeah, definitely not around here, but still, it's the fact that yeah, can't do that shit.
Yeah, I get it. I'm pretty certain my motherboard did not come in like a cardboard box to hide what it was. So
Yeah, no, but don't just come in the box that you can pick up off of the shelf from Best Buy. My point. Because if it's like that, I should have just went to fucking Best Buy.
Are they open?
I think some of them are open. They're doing curbside stuff.
I had I've been having my groceries delivered the last few weeks, and the lady was like, "What are you gonna do for the holiday?" It's like, obviously nothing, but she's like, get out and walk for a bit, man. Like, get some sun.
Yeah,
I
it
was,
is a
I was like,
holiday. It's weird how this whole situation has made time so fractured because it wasn't until Tuesday that I realized that there was holiday coming.
I realized, I realized it yesterday because I was in a meeting, obviously, video chat meeting with the colleagues and shit, and I said I plan to have such and such done by Monday, and the lady running the meeting was like, "Monday's a holiday." It's like, fuck. So she's like, so maybe we should plan to have it done by Tuesday instead. All right, fair enough.
All right. Nobody knows what days it is. So I was just so surprised. Like, oh yeah, Memorial Day. Okay.
I didn't even know what holiday it was until I think I was watching either NXT or AEW or something, and they might have mentioned it. But yeah, it's hard to keep track of the days and shit, man.
Yeah, this stuff is really throwing people off. But it'll get better eventually. Not anytime soon because they're reopening all these goddamn states before they should. And
Oh, I guess we'll see what happens with them. I'm sure there's going to be some sort of spike, but I did see somebody said there was like testing in my area now. I don't feel inclined to do this because I haven't left this house in like a long time.
I think that's the thing, though. Like, I'm not knocking you for that attitude because I totally understand it. But I think that's the thing about this whole situation. Even though we don't go out a lot or we limit our contact, you just never fucking know. And
Well, I guess my point was when I do go out, that's a risk too. So I would hate to like go for the testing and then contract it either on the way or at the testing site.
right, that's another thing. It's like, yeah, you can go test negative, and then some Karen coughs on you because she's mad she got to wear a mask.
All right. Because I'm assuming people who are like maybe showing some kind of symptoms and are fearing are more inclined to do it.
Yeah.
So it's not that I like when I saw it, I was like, good, but like I'm a little too scared to go because obviously there's gonna be people there and shit.
right, and lining up, and people aren't going to be practicing social distancing,
Right.
all that.
And to be fair, I didn't look into what procedure they had to deal with that. I just kind of was like, all right, I
I'm
haven't left
curious
here,
to
so
know what the public version is. I hope it's not that fucking swab. That shit looks disgusting, and I'm scared of that shit. Have you ever seen the swab test being administered?
yeah, I'm good. I haven't watched it. I saw like the chart of how like how they stick it in. I'm like, I don't even want to see that on a real person. The video, I'm good.
Yeah, no, there's a video floating on Twitter. It may still be out there of the military getting tested. And you see this military guy getting the swab, and it's like you're like, okay, I can understand that's going to be uncomfortable, but then you see like, you know, all right, so say this is the swab and this is your nasal cavity. It's like when you first see it, okay, but they're just going to stick it in, and then all of a sudden you like, yeah, they're just sticking it in. Yeah, they're just sticking it in. Like, oh my god, you like see the like guy in the military physically shaking, trying to like keep himself together because that shit's like it's just like probably the length of two of these markers. And I swear to fucking God, she got more than half of it in his like fucking nasal cavity before she pulled it out. I ain't doing that shit. Fuck
Uh,
that shit. Mind you, if I have to, I will. But I think that's part of the problem, though, and it's something that's come up a lot about the situation where a lot of people are kind of nervous about all these reopenings and stuff happening. Is that for a lot of people, like there's of course the idea that I can afford to get the test, but there's also a large section that is kind of afraid to get it because one, they don't want the results, or two, they're not comfortable with how you would have to test and things. It's like a couple of factors in the yeah I don't want to, which isn't a straightforward forward like the bullshit. This is the free country bullshit that people throw out. So a lot of people have fear of the testing and stuff.
I would much prefer like a typical needle, like take a blood sample or something. That shit looks
Yeah, and I
great.
think there's some other ways, but I think for some reason, maybe because it's cheaper, a lot of people are trying to do the swab thing. But that shit hurt my like fucking face just watching him get this. Oh,
First time I kind of saw it, like I had seen the start of the video. Somebody had posted it as like a deterrent to like, do you want this done to you? No, then stay inside. And I watched the first few seconds, and I was like, nope, we're done.
yeah.
Fuck that. I was already. I mean, like I'm fortunate enough to be able to work from home anyway, so like I didn't need the extra scaring. Well, I'm fortunate enough to be able to work from home, and I don't have any friends, so I didn't have any reason to go outside.
I guess. Y'all be safe out there. Just don't be doing dumb shit. Don't be throwing barbecue like people close to me be doing and hanging out on the corners and all that. God, Monday's gonna be horrible. You know that, right?
Oh, I didn't even think about that. I guess I just thought we'd all be doing what I'm
If
doing.
it's a fucking nice day, people are gonna go out of their way to break that shit.
I figured we'd all just be staying home and crying like I do.
Man.
But I mean, to your point, like especially because some things are starting to reopen a bit, they're probably because I even saw an email like the other day that apparently like maybe somebody in my apartment complex has been having gatherings or something. That there was like some kind of noise complaint that sounded like people gathering in the parking lot and all this shit. Like, goddamn. Obviously, they're not talking about me. I haven't had a guest since Christmas, and it was my mom. So,
People just don't know better, honestly. Well, I'm gonna say they don't know better. They don't care to.
well,
Yeah, that's the thing.
they're free Americans. So,
Yo, that video of that guy in the Costco pisses me the fuck off all the time. I didn't wake up I woke up in a free country. Fuck, y'all don't understand the consequences and rules of life. It bothers me.
guys, it's holidays. Stay home. Do something productive, bro. Read a book. Write a book. Paint paint a picture.
And like tons of money trying to build a computer. God, I feel so. Part of me still kind of feels sick, but part of me is kind of excited to get a better computer so I can do more efficient editing and all that stuff. I also need to get a new light because my lamp is starting to blow out, and I think I'm gonna get a ring light if I get another one.
I just mounted up my monitors on a, with a table mouse or whatever, which has cleared up a lot more space. Feels so fucking open and beautiful.
That's good.
Even though I procrastinated doing this for like 4 or 5 months now.
Yeah, I need a new bed. I need a couple of things. I guess this is the time, like, if you have the means, just buy what you really want, though.
I kept going through this cycle of like, shit, I keep telling myself I'm gonna get this monitor mount, and then like pulling up my phone, looking on Amazon, not being able to decide, saying fuck it, I'll decide tomorrow, and then just doing this for a month. And at one point I was like, you know what, fuck it, just buy one. If it sucks, it sucks. We'll deal with it later.
Yeah.
Can't sit here like worrying about this. Because I'm searching like, oh, well, the mount has to be fucking white and blah 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 blah. And I was like, it would have been nice if it was white, but like I can't even really see the mount that much, so it doesn't really.
Yeah.
I can let it go for now.
Yeah. Yeah. So, are you completely satiated of your Red Dead talk, sir?
Yeah, I fucking. It wore me out. Mentally wore me out.
And that's sad. A game should never do that. Even if you play, you enjoy it. You should never be worn out.
Honestly, like if Final Fantasy 14 wasn't doing that event right now, I'd probably just kind of like pull back from gaming for like a couple weeks.
I feel you.
Gotta get these mounts, bruh.
The Last of Us 2 is coming out in a couple of weeks, June 19th. Ghost of Tsushima. Coming out in July, I think July 15th or something like that.
It's already, oh my god, you're right. It's already like the end of May now.
Yeah, no. You got about 9 days before it's June.
Oh my fucking god.
So, yeah, there's stuff on the horizon.
Here I was like, Final Fantasy 14, 5.3 is going to drop. I'll play through that, blah, blah, blah. Not even remembering that or realizing how close Last of Us 2 is.
Right.
And I know people have been like, because there were spoilers or something and people are getting all negative. Whatever, bro. I'm still going to play it. If it sucks, it sucks. Whatever. We'll see. I like to let the internet get, because like I know it's on the internet, like what's an opinion becomes popular, it just kind of like dominates, it kind of spreads, especially for people who haven't like experienced something yet. They'll hear like, oh, this movie is ass. I actually just saw that when I was looking at one of the links you sent me for that Snyder cut. Mm-hmm. They were like, oh, I didn't watch the fucking Justice League thing and it sucks. And somebody commented, was like, if you didn't watch it, how do you know it sucks? It's like, well, my friends told me and I saw, reviews and shit. I'm like,
exactly. You say it sucks, so it sucks. And I'm going to say it sucks too.
Well, I mean, in fairness
to him, to be fair, he could have just watched Ezra Miller run and then said it sucks. Because you could just leave it at that alone.
I mean, in fairness to him, he's like one of the only people that's been that explicit about it, because most people don't even notice that they're kind of absorbing these opinions from the internet.
Nah, they don't.
I definitely see that with games where, like, honestly, I've kind of had it too, where like I'll kind of go into like a game or a movie or something with like a negative opinion, not really knowing where it came from, and then I kind of like, oh yeah, because everybody's been kind of talking shit.
Like, y'all tripping? Yeah, I know.
I'm into Andromeda like that, and I like Andromeda, so kind of like deprogram yourself to not suck all that shit in.
All right.
Ears open.
All right, so I guess we wasted a good 2 hours time.
Yep.
But I'm sure there's more random stuff that we can talk about. But just to recap, the early house cleaning. We will have another Reason We're Born sometime this weekend at the time of this recording. Because Trump's going fucking bonkers as usual, getting worse, which I didn't think would happen. But you have stuff like, the Supreme Court voting that, hey, you could seal the subpoenas for the Mueller investigation, which the fuck you sealing them for? He's not guilty, right? Okay. Um, you got fucking your state, Florida, trying to reopen Disney World and shit.
I live in California, sir.
Yeah, but you know where you're from.
I
You
was
will
born in
always
New York.
be. That will always be a part of your DNA, sir.
I,
No matter
am
how
I
much
an
you don't want it.
asshole? Like, I don't get the love for Disney World, but and maybe
I don't
because I
either. But
grew up in.
to be fair, I don't think it was Disney World. I think it may have been Universal because the shit that we're talking about was like, yeah, you can't take pictures, of course, with the people, and if you don't have a mask, we're gonna give you a mask, and
I mean,
you know
either
you can only
way, like,
take pictures with the fully covered animals, and
I maybe it's because I grew up in Florida, but I just grew up with like all these people, largely women, always talking about how much they fucking love Disney World, and they got this like season pass or whatever, and they're going like every other weekend. I'm like, what the fuck, bro? Like, you get there a couple of times, that's it. It's not that interesting, especially if you don't even have fucking kids. Like, what's the point of this? I don't know. I've never understood the obsession with that mouse and the rest of those assholes.
he's cute and he's inspirational and
He
something
has the
else.
most annoying voice imaginable.
That's just ridiculous.
Fuck
Hey, look,
Mickey. Fuck Walt. Fuck Disney.
if it wasn't for the House of Mouse, we wouldn't have had the greatness that was the Marvel run.
I hate you for that.
Say what you will, but fuck, they didn't take the property and give it to Kevin Feige. Shit,
Fine.
that
Ask.
is where Disney keeps maintaining itself because it's like, yo, you gotta think about it. I consume so much Disney shit that doesn't say Disney. I'm sitting here watching ESPN right now. You know, if you watch a show on ABC, praise Disney. Watch a show on ESPN, praise Disney. Hulu now, praise Disney.
It really feels like you're pointing out more of a problem with Monopoly than like giving me a reason to praise them. But fair enough.
Yeah, I mean, but it does seem problematic. But at the same time, look at the shit that they're putting out in this problematic venture of theirs.
Will they be able to put out? I guess they will be able to like the
Dude, they're
movies
gonna
that
put
are.
Hamilton on Disney Plus.
I don't give a shit about that.
Not a fucking like no. Yeah, you may not, but it's like it's not a like one of the offshoots that they're doing now where you can go see it now. They're actually going to put the original fucking Hamilton play on Disney.
It makes my head hurt. I might actually watch it because I've never been interested, but like if it's there, who knows?
You know, it's the original with Lin Manuel Miranda as the actual lead.
Fine, whatever. But I was gonna say, maybe they can pull some Disney magic and like get these Marvel movies going somehow, even though they can't film with social distancing and shit.
They're already like working on how to get Black Widow and to make sure it's in.
I was thinking of
Yeah.
Thor: Love and Thunder, but
Oh, you mean the filming?
yeah.
Yeah, that would be nice if they could.
The reason I think about it is because like somebody on Twitter like mentioned like, oh, are you watching such and such anime? And I was like, I guess it's the only one I'm watching because like outside the anime that are not in season right now, a lot of them have paused release because of this thing. Like if you go on Crunchyroll, like there's a note that says due to COVID, whatever, the release schedule has been affected, and they just haven't released anything for weeks. Same thing with comic books. So like the content stream is starting to slow down. I'm starting to feel it. So, if they could pull some Disney magic and maybe get the full next phase of Marvel going.
Yeah, I'm curious of where the shows are.
Good shows.
You know, WandaVision,
Oh,
Loki.
oh, where they are in production. Yeah.
Yeah, because they were all supposed to at some point be out by now, right?
I'm not even sure. Like, it feels like we're not even talking about them. And to be fair, maybe we're not gonna have like a full phase of Marvel anymore. Maybe people are like burned out on comic book movies. But I kind of want to see where This would be the perfect time for people to embrace animated series. Because you don't need humans like kissing and touching each other and shit in an animated shit. I was listening to a podcast and like somebody was mentioning this like couple friend he has, and like the woman, they're both writers, but like one of them works on like a series, but like they had to stop production, so he kind of like lost his job, I guess, temporarily. But she works on an animated series, so she's still working. And it's like, man, it's the weirdest fucking thing. Like they're both at the same job essentially, but one of them can still work because one of them works on an animated show. That's showing that animated shit is the shit. I will say that, as we wrap up, my suggestion is going to be Apocalypse War for those who haven't seen it. I've killed Black. Look at him. Look at him.
All right. I think I'm dead tired.
Yeah.
I'm actually sitting here watching ESPN, like, show old shit. This is sad how this fucking COVID shit is. Like, like, I'm not one of those people like, I need sports back now, but it's kind of sad how I'm locked into all this old shit. Like, I'm not saddened by, like, I can't see these sports, which they're talking about bringing back in, but we'll discuss that more on Reason Reborn. They're setting timetables for when sports can come back for live events. No, it doesn't bother me watching the old stuff, but it is kind of sad that I'm sitting here watching this shit like it's brand new.
Wrestling is hard to watch.
Yeah, wrestling. I've just disconnected myself, and you are my, level of voyeurism that I'm going to indulge in.
Yeah, stay in. Fuck Memorial Day. I should say
Yeah,
fuck Memorial Day, but fuck celebrating it.
and I was just about to say, please don't literally fuck during Memorial Day. Just calm yourself down. Calm yourself down.
Plenty of shit you guys can do, man.
By the way, I will have something to report to you in about a week's time, as I started a trial of Kindle Unlimited, and lo and behold, one of the things that's available, Volume 1, Thor, Goddess of Thunder.
I haven't read it.
Well, it's supposed to be the like collection of her stories, right?
Oh, is that what it's called?
Yeah.
When I was reading it, it was just called The Mighty Thor.
No, they have a volume like of her shit.
Oh, it's like a full collection. Okay, I see.
Yeah, it's a collection of her shit. And it's Volume 1. It's free on Kindle Unlimited. So
she is a magical woman.
I will let you know what I think of Jane.
I already tell you what you think. She's great. There's your opinion right there.
Not that
What do you do?
She couldn't beat everything, clearly.
What'd she lose to? Cat? Bro? What a dick.
I'm just saying.
Beats Odin, beats Thor. What an asshole. You guys out there read that shit too.
Yeah, so that's our suggestion for reading. If you can get a free trial of Kindle Unlimited, it's 30 days. They have a ton of comic book volumes. They had a Black Panther one. I have to share it with you and see if you can give me some insight of what it is. But they had a ton of stuff. Oh, that's the other thing I'm going to report back to you. Flashpoint is on there for Kindle Unlimited. If those don't know what Kindle Unlimited is, if you have a Kindle Unlimited subscription, basically, they have a pool of stuff that you can read for free. And if you choose to buy it, you can, but you can just read the whole thing as long as it's in their unlimited library. Flashpoint is in there, so.
Maybe I should go back and read some old stuff since they're not releasing anything new.
Yeah, like I think this is a perfect time for somebody who's been disconnected in reading comic books to get back into it. So.
All right, dope.
All right. Yeah, I had a suggestion for reading. I'm so proud of myself. All right. So, anything else you have, sir? As I'm about to go to fucking sleep. God damn, it's 2 a.m. I said an hour, and it's 2 hours later. Fucking horrible time management.
If you guys aren't like haven't been watching DC's animated film universe, it's also time to binge that. It's about 15 movies long. We've got Apocalypse War. It's a good fucking set of movies. It's a damn shame DC doesn't get more credit for that because they dominate animated movies and all their movies are solid.
Yeah, you guys need to watch DC animated shit. Seriously, like I remember the first one I watched was it a Wonder Woman or was it just a Justice League? I forget exactly what was the main focus, but I think it was a Wonder Woman that turned out to be kind of like a Justice League thing, kind of her telling of how she got introduced into the whole thing somehow, and it had like Rick Flag's father and shit like that, and they were fighting like some aliens. No, it was a Green Lantern. That's what it was. And like a bunch of them were in it, and Rick Flag's father was in it, and it was dope as shit. Like, yo, his dad was like Admiral Flag was fucking like the man. Um, Sad that he died in it though, but he went out like the man because he was like, "Fuck this shit, you coming with me," and he took everything with him. Like, god damn it, I need an Admiral Flag comic book now just because of that. That shit was dope. But yeah, no, the DC animated films are just fucking ridiculously good.
But
And
especially this current batch because it's like a shared universe. So like for you guys who watch like the Marvel universe and see how all those movies are shared, it's the same thing with these animated ones. And there's been stuff in there. I'm like, I really hope they bring that to the comic books because I would kind of like to see some of that shit now.
yeah, I don't know who they got like doing the stories and all that for that, but they're fucking on point as hell, and they're shitting on anything that they do in the live at movies, including the fucking Snyder cut, which we'll talk about eventually. I cannot wait for that shit. God damn it. In fact, I feel like I need to watch the original Justice League just to laugh right now in preparation for the fuckery that's coming.
Yeah, I'm just, we said we're gonna cut off. But I was just like throwing a bunch of shit out there to keep you guys in for Memorial Day. There's lots of shit you can do inside.
Yeah, go watch that like original Snyder cut of Justice League too, and remind yourselves of how disillusioned you are.
I'm less petty than Black, but
Just saying. God, I can't. God damn it! I cannot wait. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be. The internet's gonna break itself.
all right. I think we'll all look forward to seeing your newly built machine there.
Yeah, I cannot wait. I should have had a part near me so I could show you, but I can't show you the part that I could show you because it has my address on the front of it. Thanks, Amazon.
Oh, they had to find you somehow.
I guess, but you could have put it in a box. The box. Like it's a fucking $180 fucking piece of fucking hardware. What are you doing? Just sitting there like. It's fine. I'm trying not to be mad at them because I know they're overwhelmed and all that, and they're going through bullshit. The employees, so yeah. Anyway, so thank you guys for watching this shit show. Hopefully you enjoyed us rambling on, and we will be back with another one as well as The Reason We're Born. And I promise I will get her to fucking record. I just need to wrangle her in, and so we can do another His Point Her review and all other stuff. But look for some more stuff on my channel, on this channel, all that. Look for him on Twitter. His stuff's in the description. Especially look for him on Twitter when he plays whatever game he's gonna play next. I feel like you should start tweeting your feelings about these things.
Twitter only gives you 140 characters.
Yeah, I know. Well, what is it? 140, 240, something dumb.
No, either that or 280, but
Yeah.
I could write a book about it.
Do a thread. Just do a thread. Do like I do. Just do threads. Hey, they're fun. All right, ladies and gentlemen, appreciate you as always. Stay safe out there, please. Do what you need to do. Listen to the rules. If your state is reopening, please still follow those guidelines. Don't just ignore the mask shit and all of that stuff, the social distancing. Just because shit's open doesn't mean that this disease has decided to walk away because it's open back. So take every precaution you can and do the right thing, please. We want you all to come through safe, you and your loved ones. All right. All right, everybody. We will see you next time. All right. Have a good evening, afternoon, morning, day, night, whatever you want to call it. Who knows what time it is? Even if you do know what time it is, you don't really know what time it is because we all are fucked with our schedules anyway. So take it easy. Peace.